Jonathan went to Ghana and brought we went to Ghana. Who was living in Ghana? Came here and supplied Jonathan. Now everybody's coming.
Those states. Here, right in Ogba, and we are here to do justice to the newspaper headlines this morning. Mr. Nchuku on this wonderful edition of the program. I have my wonderful reviewers here this morning, Mr. Chigozie, Mr. Matthew, Mr. Raphael, Mr. Charles. They are here to do justice to the newspaper headlines. Sorry for that technical error. We've put stuffs in place. Okay, I have with me the Nigerian Tribune. The Nigerian Tribune I have with me this morning. I also have the Vanguard newspaper this morning. We are looking at September 1, the deadline for the anti-open grazing law to be passed by southern states. So far, Osun State has passed the law. Rivers State has also passed the law, and we're expecting other states to follow suit. Okay, and there are reports that Ondo State will pass the law. The governor of Ondo State will sign the bill today. Let's look at the newspaper headlines this morning. The Vanguard above the masthead. Again, Southeast grounded despite cancellation of IPOB seats at home. Again, Southeast grounded despite cancellation of IPOB seats at home. Yet, the people still want to sit at home in honor of their leader, Nnamdi Kanu, despite the cancellation by the Director of State Services of IPOB. CJN summoned 6 states sieges over conflicting orders. CJN summoned 6 states sieges over conflicting orders. I remain king, head of Yoruba nation. Claim. Obas split over Alaafin. I remain king, head of Yoruba nation. Claim. Obas split over Alaafin. Below the masthead, experts kick as federal government defends sensible borrowings. Experts kick as federal government defends sensible. I'm very particular about that word, sensible. Sensible borrowings. FG borrowing sensibly to fund infrastructure, says Finance Minister Ahmed. FG borrowing sensibly to fund infrastructure, says Finance Minister Ahmed. As insecurity slowed down agri sector. Insecurity slowed down the agri sector. Debt situation not sustainable. Ex-LCCI boss. Debt situation not sustainable. LCCI boss. Ex-LCCI boss. Debt servicing crowding out funds for development. Debt servicing crowding out funds for development, says Varsity Dawn. Nigeria neck deep in financial mess, says High Cap security boss. Nigeria neck deep in financial mess, says High Cap security boss. We're looking at the eventual release of Sunday Igboho's 8 out of 12 has been released by the DSS owing to the court order. Wow, there's jubilation in there. 8 of 12 associates of Yoruba Nation agitator Sunday Igboho, who were arrested by Department of State Services DSS operatives, released after spending 2 months in custody in Abuja yesterday. There's the photo of the release aides. I hope my son's death will play a major role in solving Nigeria's problems. That's from Naala. I hope my son's death will play a major role in solving Nigeria's problems. Insecurity. Autumn. APC chieftains clash over call for state of emergency in Benue State. Autumn. APC chieftain call for state of clash over the calls for state of emergency in Benue State. Will shut down Nigeria if there is hike in fuel price electricity tariff. Labour warns FG. Will shut down Nigeria if there is hike in fuel price electricity tariff. Labour wants FG. This is in connection to the current increase that will be starting by tomorrow in electricity tariff. Current increase in the price of electricity units that will be starting September 1. There are two things that's going to happen September 1. One is the eventual deadline of the southern governors over the open grazing in the southern states, and also the increase in electricity tariff. A new price will be given by tomorrow. So the labor, they are saying we'll shut down Nigeria if there is hike in fuel price, electricity tariff. Labor wants FG. Apapa, Lagos government NPA traffic operation crumbles as chaos, extortion persists. Apapa, Lagos government NPA traffic operation crumbles as chaos, extortion persists. Let's move on to the Nigeria Tribune. Akume, other APC leaders demand state of emergency in Benue. Akume, other APC leaders demand state of emergency in Benue. They only succeeded in massaging Buhari's ego, Benue government is saying. They only succeeded in massaging Buhari's ego. CBN unveils guidelines, sets transfer limits for e-Naira. CBN unveils guidelines, sets transfer limits for e-Naira. Main headline on the Tribune this morning: September 1 anti-open grazing deadline. Where southern states stand? Where southern states stand in the September 1 anti-open grazing deadline? Rivers, Bayelsa, Ekiti, are you ready for enforcement? Rivers, Bayelsa, Ekiti, are you ready for enforcement? Delta are yet to enact law. Uncertainty in Ebonyi, Imo. Ondo signs bill into law today. Edo governor yet to send bill to assembly. Public hearing on bill holds in Enugu. Bill in second reading in Akwa Ibom assembly. Don't frustrate enforcement. Afenifere tells federal government. Conflicting court orders. CJN summons chief judges of Rivers, Kebbi, Imo, Anambra to other states. CJN summons chief judges of Rivers, Kebbi, Imo, Anambra to other states. Oyo records vaccine-derived polio case. Oyo records vaccine-derived polio case. Kano has 2 million drug addicts. Kano State has 2 million drug addicts. That is from the NDLEA boss. Nigerian government must end crimes to enforce disappearance. Nigerian government must end crimes of enforced disappearance. Amnesty International is saying as DSS releases 8 out of 12 associates of Igboho. Court rejects AGF's application to vacate restraining order. Plateau military wants resident against self-defense. Military wants resident against self-defense. Government threatens showdown with those fanning embers of violence. Relaxes curfew in 3 local government areas. NANS demand compensation for families of slain students. Military wants residents against self-defense. Let's move over to our review. Good morning, Mr. Chigozie.
Yeah, good morning, Christian.
Let's look at Plateau State. Very important. Military wants against self-defense. They want the residents against self-defense. Looking at the crisis happening in Jos. Is that the way to go?
It's very unfortunate. You can understand that despite the fact that the Nigerian state has failed in her primary responsibility of safeguarding life and property, the supposed instrument of the state, which is the arm of the government, are still meting out threats to the people who have suffered unimaginable level of assault, intimidation, and even death. Is a very unfortunate. So rather than apologizing, tendering apology to the people of the Plateau, you can see their position, which means they don't even have any remorse for their inability to have carried out their legitimate duty as recognized by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It's very unfortunate.
this quagmire of the military, you're not able to defend me, and you're telling me not to defend myself. How do you look at it?
You can just imagine. You have the primary responsibility. In fact, you are being paid to defend the people. So what is the sense of paying you with common resources, common words? You take what belongs to all of us in the bid to render service to the Plateau State indigents or residents, and you failed in that primary objective. What next should be done? Is it not to relieve you of such job? And you still have the guts to make such useless assertion. It's very unfortunate. This is what we do experience in Nigeria. As a military man or whatever, you are being sustained by people's money, taxpayers' money. We pay through our nose in this country, and yet you could not protect or guarantee the safety of the people, of the residents. And you still have the guts to make this useless statement. Why? Because you lack conscience. You have no conscience. And there's no way, of course, your conscience can prick you because you have a seared conscience, a seared mind. You felt, where are you when these people were overrun by the Fulani militias? Where are you? Where are the militaries? Where are the mopos? Where are the air force? Where are the policemen? If they have been at the point of duty, if they have been manning their responsibilities at the various points of duty, such people wouldn't have overrun the entire community, not even the entire community, the entire region, entire Plateau State. You see? And you are telling the people not to defend themselves, which means there is a synergy between the Nigerian military and the killer herdsmen. You are telling the people not to resist the attack from the invaders, from the Fulani militias who are bent at eliminating, exterminating them. Prior to this attack, of course, Fulani has destroyed a large expanse of commercial farmland, and still you do not do anything to even stop or forestall further threat or attack. They still tell you that they are coming for their life. You were there watching. You didn't beef any security and yet they unleash mayhem on the people. You see the number of casualties, most of which were underreported. And now people have resort to take up the responsibility of protecting their life and that of their loved ones. And you said that now you are meting out a threat to them that they shouldn't dare that.
Well, you know about governors that have told the residents. Governors have told their people, defend yourself.
Yes, because they understood that the situation has escalated to the point that we could no longer depend on the military or security agent or apparatus for our defense. Otherwise, we would risk being exterminated. Even the governor, which of course is the first citizen of the state, which has a primary responsibility of protecting life and property, understood that it have gone beyond his capacity. Then, for being fair, you have to tell the people, please, you have to take the responsibility. Look at the supposed military who should have taken up the responsibility of protecting the Nigerian territorial integrity and the life of every resident within the Nigerian state. Look at what they are saying. You saw so many casualties. Some people are crying, and you, of course, you are happy because you are achieving your purpose. It's very unfortunate. So people should not hit to such a useless and senseless statement. If you cannot defend me, self-defense is a natural law. It's a natural principle, which of course supersedes the state of the law of every state. So if you have failed in defending me, you gave me your words, you guarantee my safety. And I discovered that over time you have failed, you have repeatedly failed. Not just failing woefully. You see, and you still expect me to entrust my own life and future into your hands is unfortunate.
Okay, we're looking at the sit at home yesterday. The sit at home yesterday, it was, despite the fact that it had been cancelled, there was the recorded total compliance in most parts of the eastern states. How do you look at it?
Yeah, because the people understood that their safety cannot be guaranteed by the Nigerian states. So when they ask you to wait, you have to scurry for safety. Excuse me, please. You have to scurry for safety. When they ask you to run, you have to think twice. So the people understood that, of course, they have no future in this system. And that informs their position. They were not under any compulsion. They were compelled to stay at home. It is a willful act. They freely and willingly choose to remain at home because they are not comfortable. Some people that say that it will affect the southeastern region economic wise. They were very quick to forget that during 1967, between 1967 to 1970, over 3 years, children never went to school. Our educational curriculum was suspended in the entire old eastern region. There was no hospitals. For these 3 years, children never went to school. And now you can see that even in current, according to statistics, international statistics, people that never went to school for 3 years, they were in full-blown war. I mean, genocide sponsored by the Nigerian state. They are the one leading the academic world in the entire world. Check the statistics. The people from the old eastern region are the one leading the educational system. Even in diaspora, even in Nigeria, when you take statistics, they're the one leading. So that sacrifice they paid could not be considered too much in the course of fighting for freedom. So sit at home is a noble cause. It's a weapon deployed against the Nigerian state. Just imagine what is happening. The threat meted out by the Nigerian military to the just indigenous. That if you resort to sit at home, to self-defense, they will come after you. Then what is that guarantee that if anyone comes out, his life will be spared? Look at what happened. I saw a video that went viral. And when you analyze that video, you will understand, if you are a deep thinker, that that video was concocted. That video was premeditated, and unfortunately those actors could not implement the scripts strictly very well. They are not good actors, and they did that. Of course it should be the instrument of the state, the DSS on their likes. You see, in the bid to give a dog a bad name so that they can kill the dog. Could you imagine? So one of them was saying that we are fatherland, Biafran fatherland warriors, and one of them was saying, "Please capture me, video me, video me, video me, video me." You can understand that this was arranged to give the southeastern region a bad name. I have mentioned that we don't encourage the shedding of blood in Igbo land. It is a tradition handed over by our ancestors that they value the blood of human beings, especially the innocents. You see, to be spilled on their own soil is a sacrilege. So the DSS or whatever the government instruments should stop that. That's why you can see now they are moving armored tanks down to the east. Maybe to continue the genocide against the peaceful and law-abiding citizens of that region, and precisely Imo State. or the Anambra State. These are activities of mischief makers who are not part, as much as I know, are not part of the IPOP, are not part of the Biafran movement. Biafrans are resort to diplomatic approach in restoring the sovereignty of the Nigerian state.
Okay.
Not the use of weapon, not the use of fierce. Which unfortunately the Nigerian state is pushing the people to the wall, of which the people has the right, of course, when the faction becomes too high, the right to resist.
And the open grazing bill deadline is tomorrow. Your state is adamant. Uzodimma is saying that no such bill in Imo State.
I cannot see
It's very unfortunate. Then let's come down to Imo State. Over time, Imo State are predominantly, our fathers and mothers are predominantly farmers. They depend on farming, subsistence farming, as a way of livelihood. Then oftentimes the Fulani herders have overrun those farms, and there was no compensation given to those owners of the lands or farmlands whose crops were destroyed by the cattle and the herders. Even from the state governor, there is no compensation scheme or set up by the government to cushion the adverse effects of this wanton destruction of people's source of livelihood by the state government under the watch of the so-called Uzodimma or what? Huh? Yeah, the Supreme Governor of Imo State, Supreme Court Governor. Now, one could now imagine what exactly were you there to do? If you are not there to protect the rights, the privileges of the electorate, then what were you actually there to do? What primary assignment were you there to execute? People are crying that their farmlands have been destroyed. Yeah, the people that destroyed their farmland will take those cattle to the market and exchange it for money, while you fold your hands and you are just left at the mercy of hunger and starvation. I don't see any rationality in this. So now you are telling the people that you don't care about their welfare, you don't care about their existence, you don't care about whatever that befalls them. Is that the language? Of course, it is becoming clearer. We understood his position. You see, we understood his antecedents. So he cannot, sacrifice the destiny and the lives of Imolites at the altar of sacrificing. The people will, of course, resist. So you cannot tell me that what are the logic, what are the reasons why you should promote open grazing in this modern world, in this 21st century? Rather than promoting ranching or encouraging the indigenous people of Imo State to go into ranching as a way of creating jobs. Last time somebody told me that, could you imagine, that the governor doled out billions and the only empowerment he deemed necessary for the youth, the teeming population of Imolites, is to start training rabbits. Rabbits. It's very unfortunate. You ask people to start training rabbit and snail. Is that how to empower them? Why not go into ranching, in a commercial scale, so that we'll start producing and exporting meat and producing milk that will be even sufficient for us, if not being exported. So in fact, these people has lost sense of direction and focus. Of course, they were not prepared for governance. They weren't prepared. Unfortunately, they were just smuggled there to protect the interests of their paymasters, which is very unfortunate.
New electricity tariff starts tomorrow.
I told you that. You see, I've once discussed with somebody, these are their plans. And unfortunately, what have we done wrong to, to be found within this contraction?
Because the current electricity tariff now, people are finding it hard to pay.
Not even hard. People are finding it very difficult, extremely difficult to offset. And now you want to increase it to 300%. In fact, indirectly, you will just tell us to you not take us to the slaughter so that you will hack us to death. We know that you are coming out to kill us. Rather than using such way to choke the people. Most people have not paid, offset those unimaginable bills. You'll be bringing within a household, bringing 400,000, 700,000 to do what? Even the factory, Dangote, how much is Dangote paying in electricity? That just a mere residential home that is just about four or five people to pay such a exorbitant rate, and they are still want to increase it. Unfortunately, it's very unfortunate. That is in a system. No wonder. Even in National Assembly, in most of their plenaries, they use generating sets to power the procession. Even in Buhari, they use generating set to power Aso Rock. This is a economy. How could such economy survive? How could such economy thrive? Look at Lagos State of Assembly. There was a time. Is it even they use a generating set, which is not a rocket science. I can fix the issue of power if I'm given the opportunity by basic knowledge of physics. Elementary knowledge of physics, you can generate, but unfortunately, it is within the federal government exclusive list. You cannot even set up your linear generating power station or base. They will come after you. It's very unfortunate, and this does not engender or encourage ingenuity or prosperity for all. So we cannot continue. The cost of production is unbearable. Even those still surviving, those still into production, it's unfortunate. You'll be paying over 20,000 a week for diesel, which is very unfortunate. So all these things are pointing to the fact that we have no system, we have no country, and of course, there are evidences that are bound to this. That's why, of course, the call for Biafra will never cease. Biafra will only solve our problem. Oduduwa is here, and everybody must rally around to support the cause of justice.
Amen.
Not until this is done, there can never be peace.
Okay.
Otherwise, we are all gunners.
Okay, thank you very much. So a report coming now. Many injured motorists flee as Fulani herders clash with Hausa traders in Delta State. Many injured motorists flee as Fulani herders clash with Hausa traders in Delta State. Let's have Mr. Charles. Mr. Charles, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Christian Chukwu. I'm still your humble servant, Mr. Charles Chukwuyodi.
Okay, let's look at electricity tariff by tomorrow. There's going to be a new price, new tariff.
We have said it in this platform, and we will and we shall continue to say it, and we will continue to say it. We don't know where we are heading to. The little ones that we have been battling with, a lot of people have not even put in place it. The ones that have been in place, you are now trying to impose another one. My brother, that's a very big problem, because the last person that just said that the last person that just talked now said how much is Dangote paying, and which is true. When you go to so many places, so many houses, individual houses, you find out that the imposition of this tariff is getting much. It's getting much, my brother. How much is an average Nigerian earning as a salary? How much are you earning? Okay, the tariff you are even paying, when you pay, how many times in a week do you see lights? If you go to a place like Agege where we stay, you will stay in Agege for like 1 week sometimes, you don't see a flash of lights. Except if you're in these industrial areas where most of these companies like picnics and other companies are being sited. That's where you'll be seeing lights. because a lot of light will be channeled towards, most of people will channel this company light to their houses. But you cannot tell me that you want to, the tariffs should be put in place by tomorrow. Why the average Nigerians cannot even, we should be talking about how the standard of living of the individual, the country, of the particular citizen should be met. Not all these things they are talking about. In so many places, light and other things should not be a problem. I think government should be able to fix that. Not imposing everything on, as long as you are imposing this on individual, definitely the price of so many things will go high. And which is not supposed to be like that. That is just it, my brother. I am not seeing. In short, the country is just messed up. That is just it.
Okay.
Now,
let's look at the sit-at-home yesterday. How do you look at it? It was bloody. Some people said the sit-at-home was bloody yesterday in the southeast. Despite the fact that it was cancelled, people still at the head. They still held on to the sit-at-home.
Yes. I love what my people did. Like they were like putting some things as they were like trying to respect a law that is coming out as into a law that is being brought as in place. But there's a video clip I watched. I think I watched it with my brother Chigose here in Chigose's phone. What I saw was not even in line with what I knew my people can do. That is not an IPOB member doing such. Because it's just a gang up trying to blackmail the IPOP members, trying to blackmail the Igbo land, paint them to paint them black as if this is what they did, which is not true. Because even when you watch the video clip very well, ironically, it was not set up very well. Because at a point, a man was running on the video clip and he was telling them that they should video him. How will you be running for your dear life and you'll be asking someone or the person pursuing you that the person should video you? Meanwhile, you should be running for your dear life. And at a point, the other one will say, remove your clothes and start running. My brother, this is just an arrangement by the federal government to pull down the IPOP members down. And of which I know very well, Igbo land is not known for, we are not known for blood. We don't shed blood. If you go to Igbo land, what you will shed in Igbo land is how do you make money. They will teach you how to make money, not shed blood. IPOB members, of which I knew very well, have never for once, this has never been their primary objective. But at times I'm looking at it as if they are trying to push the IPOB members as in paint them to the whole world that this is what they are. Meanwhile, it's not true. But I would say I respected my people very well for them keeping in touch and respecting the little law that has been put in place. A day can never kill an Igbo man. Let's continue to honor that Monday is going to be like a rule and law to us. That is just it.
September 1 deadline of the open grazing. How do you look at the Southeast? No Southeast state has enacted the bill, the anti-open grazing bill. We have River State, we have Osun State, and today Ondo State is going to have their own.
That is just it. Cows. I was once, and I played football very well then. I played Mighty Jet, Jew. That was when I was still in the University of Jos then. I was opportune to go to National Stadium in Abuja here. It was some few years ago. The place that was meant to be a national stadium has been channeled for cows. Cows are there now, feeding, doing some of these other things. But once you're talking about open grazing, I trust my people. Grazing and in Fulani people, what the most important thing they should do is to go back to their backyard and rear their cows. You don't just rear cows openly. By the level I'm seeing it, it's going to take place. It's going to take effect because what River State government have done, they have. It has inculcated into their memory that was exactly what they're supposed to put in place. Because you, as a human being, you cannot be walking on the street and you're walking on the street at the same street with a cow. If you go to North, my brother, I was opportune to be in all those places. I'm not giving you a fake story. When you go to North, because I was born in the North, sometimes, in an express road, you find out that cows that move in 10 to their thousands will be walking in an express road. The cars, the vans, everything will have to stop. And then before you know what is happening, before they will move out from that particular highway, sheets and they will just mess. You know what comes out from cows, they will just mess everywhere up. So open grazing, they should not, by the social grace of God, it's not going to take place. They should go back to their various community houses. There are so many bush where they can rear their cows, not coming out in public to do such. So I trust my people. It's going to take effect by the social grace of God.
Nigerians should encourage Boko Haram terrorists to surrender. Ahmed Lawan, Senate President.
Yeah, this is not the first time we're hearing that they should surrender.
Nigerians should encourage Boko Haram.
Nigerians should encourage. How do we encourage them? How do we encourage them? Were they not supposed to know that what matters in this life is human life? They don't value your life. They don't value my life. So what sort of encouragement should we have to encourage these people? For years, they have made blood. Blood has become. It's not like tea. They drink tea. You know the way you are drinking tea. That is how they drink blood in the north. So how do you intend to encourage those people to stop? They know what they are doing. They knew, and trust me and believe me, so many people you call the governmental officers are the ones sponsoring them. So there's no way I can't just come out and start telling them that they should stop, because they knows what is right. They knows what is what they're supposed to put in place to stop everything. So you cannot advise them to stop. Meanwhile, within them themselves, they are all human beings. They have this conscience. Why can't they stop? So you cannot tell me that I should go ahead and tell them that they should stop. I have given you a story here in this platform, how I was being attacked by, listen, I don't know, it's still Boko Haram people. We were in the church and a bomb blast have to exist in a particular church. That was St. Teresa in Zaria, there, Wusasa. So you cannot tell me that had even my life has been taken, I will be here telling them that she should stop. Those people that their members have been wiped out, killed everywhere. Look at what is happening in Plateau State. You killed people as if you are killing cows. And you are telling me that they should stop. They knows what they are doing. They knows the right thing to do. Even the government itself, the government is so barbaric. They knows what to do. They knows how to stop it. So you cannot, it's not a function. You don't have to impose a coercion on them by force. They knows that this is what they're supposed to do, what they're supposed to put in place to stop it. I, as an average Nigerian, cannot encourage them. I can only come to this platform and shout and tell the whole world this is what is going on, because we have so many people abroad that doesn't even know what is going on in this country. But somebody in abroad cannot even know what is going on in Plateau State, except when you go to Google. But we are here. We are the ones that will put it as we analyze everything and will tell you this is what is going on. So you cannot tell me that they don't know what to do. They knows what to do, and I can't just come out here and start telling them that they should forget about it. They should do this.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, my brother.
So Matthew, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Christian.
Okay, we have so many stories today. So many stories today, but we'll see how we'll cover it.
Okay.
Let's start with the Senate President. Nigerians should encourage Boko Haram Boko Haram terrorists to surrender, from Ahmed Lawan.
Thank you very much. Matthew is in it once more. You see, Nigerian system is becoming uninterested. You are saying they should encourage them to surrender. It's good the insurgency should come to an end, but there should be consequence for all the numerous nefarious activities of these insurgents. Asking them to surrender and giving them a slap on the wrist and asking them to go is not the right way to. Is not the right thing to do.
Okay.
The right thing to do is to get them prosecuted and let the court decide their fate. Because as we speak, there are so many Nigerians who have suffered so much in their hands. There are so many Nigerians who their life can never come back to normal. How do you explain a situation where you have some soldiers, their legs being amputated, and they will see a repentant Boko Haram moving freely in the society? How do you just suppose those two scenarios? I have said it here on this platform the other day that the senator, one of the senators from Borno State, I'm talking about Nduma, who happens to be the Senate committee chairman on the military, said only Maiduguri Cemetery, you have about 800 military personnel buried there. These are people who were killed by Boko Haram, not other places. You have a situation where people who are in IDP camps are not being taken care of adequately. I'm not saying it's not good for Boko Haram to stop. I'm not saying it's not good for insurgency to stop. But if they are surrendering, you allow them to go through the judicial process. Prosecute them. I'm not saying they should not be forgiven. Forgiveness is different from consequence for your action. I'm not saying upon surrendering that they should shoot them and kill them. What I'm trying to say is they should be prosecuted. Let the law take its course. Because the way it stands, it looks as if government is encouraging insurgency. It looks as if the law-abiding citizens are the one that is losing. The right thing to do is to take them to court, let the court decide their fates. Even as they surrender in drone.
Okay, let's look at the anti-open grazing law, where the southern states stand. We have Wike, River State, we have Osun State, and today Ondo State, but other states are still yet to.
I think what I would do is I will encourage other states who have not enacted the law of anti-open grazing to follow suit. The earlier the better, because on this issue, this is the only issue I'm seeing that every stakeholder in Nigeria, without exception, is on the same page, apart from the presidency. Especially if you look at the southern part of the country.
Imo State Governor said that there's nothing like anti-open grazing.
It's simply decimal. If you are talking about 1 out of 17, it's simply decimal. One can still be right to conclude that almost every state in the south is on the same page. Because what is 1%, one state out of, what is the percentage of one state out of 17? So that, for me, it doesn't make much difference. And I see that he's only playing to the gallery. It is just because of political affiliation. Not that his people, not that he represented the interests of his people by that utterance. What we are saying is not because of hatred, it's not because of, it is as a result of the excesses of the Fulani herdsmen. We are seeing how excesses of Fulani herdsmen gave right to Sunday Igboho. We are seeing the dexterity of federal government in handling Sunday Igboho. The same federal government is not forthcoming in addressing this issue of banditry and Fulani herdsmen's excesses. So, whether we like it or not, the right thing to do is to ban open grazing. The right thing to do is to go about ranching. Federal government have approved 6.25 billion naira for ranching in Katsina State. So what is stopping federal government from approving the same thing in Benue State that happens to be the epicenter of the crisis between herders and host communities? Because if you look at it, Benue State have more arable land than any other state in this country. That must explain the reason the contention of land in Benue State between the herders and host communities. So if Mr. President will release we approve 6.25 billion to Katsina State for ranching, and as at 21st of July or so, 5 billion out of that total sum have been released to Katsina State. So what is stopping him from doing the same thing in other states to mitigate these clashes? So the right thing to do is to stop open grazing and go about ranching.
Okay.
So all hands must be on deck. All stakeholders must come together. Because if you look at the issue of livestock transformation plan, all the stakeholders, all the governors unanimously adopted ranching as a panacea to curb the excesses of Fulani herdsmen, to stop these clashes between herders and host communities. If you say foreign herders are the ones perpetrating these heinous crimes, you now do ranching, and you now isolate the resident Fulani herdsmen. You put them into their cows are ranched. You can now easily know who is coming through the borders with sophisticated weapons and treat them as criminals. Because by the time you claim that the foreign Fulani are the one infiltrating into the country, they infiltrated into the ranks and file of the local Fulanis, resident Fulanis. You are claiming that it's difficult to identify them. They ranch all the cows in Nigeria. Let us now know when they are coming. We deal with them as alien Fulani herdsmen who are not ready to abide by Eastern laws.
Okay, let's look at the electricity tariff that will be increased by tomorrow. What does it sell on Nigerians?
I don't think they actually want to increase it, because I've read about that story, and the disco that dish out that information is already refuting it.
Okay.
But again, I think Nigerians are already paying exorbitantly. Because if you look at what we are paying, I don't think it's commensurate with what we are consuming. The government is quick to talk about cost reflective tariff, but they are not talking about whether whether we are having sustainable power supply.
Okay.
Though it's a good omen, the government is fast deploying meter, so that if you deploy meter, people will no longer be paying estimated billing.
Okay.
But again, there's another worrisome trend, because all the estimated billing that have been accumulated by consumers, by the time they now give them prepaid meter, they will build that accumulated bill into the prepaid meter and compare them to pay it. For me, it's an injustice at the highest order. But again, I will encourage Nigerians to resist every bid to arbitrarily increase electricity tariff, because we're already paying exorbitantly.
Okay.
If there is any need for increase, there should be justification behind it.
Okay, we'll shut down Nigeria if there is hike in fuel price, electricity tariff, labor.
I do not trust labor. For me, labor is a toothless bulldog. For now, for me, we do not have labor. Because we have instances where labor needed to rise to the occasion to defend its members and Nigerians, and they reneged. When there were increase in electricity tariff and pump PMS price, labor issued a threat, gave ultimatum to federal government. Federal government invited them. Before we knew it, they resynced all their threats, all their intention to embark on strike, and federal government had their way. So why should I not believe and rely on labor to fight for the common man? I think if there's any need to fight, Nigerians themselves should rise and fight for themselves, not waiting for labor. Labor have.
Is it not better,
labor is a bunch of disappointment as far as I'm concerned.
If labor fights for the Nigerians, it's not better that way.
It would have been good.
Fighting.
It would have been good if they had that integrity, but they have lost that reputation and integrity because of the antecedents.
Will Nigerians make any effective protest or strike?
They will.
That of labor?
Even more than labor. Don't forget that NSAS, before it was hijacked, and we saw unfortunate destruction of lives and property.
If NSAS were to be held by labor, do you think that they will have hijacked it?
Of course, they would have hijacked it. Because if you look at what transpired during NSAS, government played a major role in hijacking it. There were instances in Abuja where it is reported that a government vehicle or a senator dropped some personnel who came about disrupting protests. Their car lots, they set it ablaze. We are seeing in Lagos here where how even the government tried to infiltrate into the ranks of the protesters. So largely, it's just that it was not investigated. The government played a major role in sabotaging that protest and making it violent. So it is not, because if you look at the one that happened at Lekki Tollgate, it was very organized. until it was hijacked. So for me, the Nigerian citizens, Nigerian youths have what it takes to organize a peaceful protest and put pressure on federal government to rescind that decision.
A call for a state of emergency in Benue State. APC and the governor, they are clashing. How do you look at that?
If you look at Benue State, it happens to be the epicenter of all this crisis. And if you are asking a state of emergency, what are you looking for? Are you saying they should remove the governor and put in a military administrator, which was the case of Obasanjo's system? When Obasanjo declares a state of emergency, he removes the sitting governor and he puts a military administrator. But Jonathan did it differently. When Jonathan declared state of emergency in Borno State, he allowed the governor to be in office. Because the essence of state of emergency is to suspend some external laws, to give the military personnel who are in the theatre of war some leverage to operate without recourse to some external laws. For instance, you need to search a residence, a building. Normally, you needed a court warrant to give you authority to do that. But under state of emergency, the law permits the military personnel to bash into any property without court order. And that is to make sure that people in that vicinity or people in that property do not destroy evidence or they do not run away before the military operation. So I think what is important is the intention of the people who are calling for state of emergency. Not because they are calling for state of emergency because an autumn is speaking loudly against excesses of this government, against maladministration, against double standard, against negligence on the part of this government. If it is on that basis, the people who are calling for state of emergency are calling for state of emergency in that state, for me, it is wrong. But if it is genuinely because they want the issue of insecurity to be addressed, not that they want to remove the governor, I think it is right. So it depends on their intention.
But lastly, what is your earnest desire for Nigeria? Lastly, what do you really want to see happen in Nigeria?
My desire for Nigeria is justice, equity, and fairness. And if this is not forthcoming and the government know that they are not ready to guarantee it, then organize the country and let every tribe go its own way, especially the three major ethnic groups in Nigeria, the Igbo, the Yoruba, and the Hausa. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Sakunle, good morning.
Yeah, morning. How are you doing, man? Yeah, morning.
Would you allow your friend?
Oh yeah. Oh, you should join together and.
So, Christian, good morning then, viewers in Europe and America, Asia. I'm greeting all of you. Your viewership is the reason why we come every morning. Good morning, America, Europe, Asia, and Australia. So, Christian, what do you have for me?
Sit at home yesterday was.
Sit at home yesterday in the southeastern Nigeria was good, but bloody in some axes of Anambra State. There's a new group that spring up again. New group born out of IPOB. I think you understand. I don't mean another people, but from IPOB is a force. Security forces again from IPOB sprang up, and they had issue with civil defense yesterday because they were like, who are these people in same uniform? They must be IPOB or something like that. So before you say Jack or Robinson, you know, they started shooting themselves. And at the end of the day, the group that sprang up from IPOB carried the day. They devastated them. The civil defense, they debunked it. Civil defense, Nigerian civil defense, they debunked it that they were not the one. These guys issue sit at home order in the whole southeast. They know what they are fighting for. Nigerian civil defense come to thwart what they are doing for themselves in the Igbo land. So that's why it was bloody yesterday.
The Nigerian civil defense, they are an authority in this country.
Yes. They are an authority in this country that I tag paramilitary. They are not supposed to be armed because they are not trained to carry arms. But due to the encroachment of Fulani herdsmen across Nigeria, they have started to carry arms. Civil defense are just like, you know, all these voluntary organizations, Boys Brigade Scouts, Boy Scouts. I didn't understand, Man o' War. I didn't understand. They don't carry arms before. But due to
incessant attack from killer headers across the country, they have been forced to bear arms, to carry
I'm surprised,
arms.
despite the fact that it was cancelled. The sit at home was cancelled.
No, you can't cancel to sit at home
People
again.
still had to attend.
Yes, Nnamdi Kanu doesn't want it again. Nnamdi Kanu, a nice man, doesn't want it. But we the Igbos, we said no. Buhari shouldn't be incarcerating Nnamdi Kanu while Fulani herdsmen are allowed to encroach on people's farmland, grazing on people's farms. You have not seen the prerogative or the impetus to tag them as a terror organization. Fulani herdsmen across Nigeria, United Nations has tagged them the fourth deadliest terrorist organization in the world. But your illiterate president has not seen the reason why he should carry that order. Your president is an illiterate. I protest my point.
Your president.
Your president, not mine.
He's your president.
I'm an Igbo man.
Does that mean you are not in
This
Nigeria?
is the beginning of emancipation of the black states, Jewish state of Biafra. We are just emancipating now. I'm not a Nigerian. And you have no reason to call me a Nigerian because Nigeria has not done anything for me. Rather, I've been paying tax directly, indirectly, VAT. When I pay, when I buy my recharge card, I pay. When I withdraw money from my ATM, I pay. When I transfer my money, when I deposit my money in the bank, I pay.
I will prove to you what makes you a Nigerian.
What makes me a Nigerian?
You were born in Nigeria.
Yes. Well, let me tell you. Yes.
You schooled in Nigeria.
Formerly. Previously, I was not born yesterday or today. Previously, someone might be born, in America, but presently that person might like to naturalize in Israel. I was born in Nigeria many years ago. Are you listening to me? Now, Biafra has emancipated. Emancipation of the black Jewish state of Biafra has given me the authority, the prerogative not to accept the nationhood, the nationality of Nigeria. No, I debunk it, I reject it.
Let's look at open grazing. Where does Southern State stand? Where does your state stand?
My state Anambra stands where I stand. My state Anambra stands where Nyesom Wike, the governor of Rivers State, stands. My state Anambra stands where Ondo State governor, he is signing it into bill today. Where the man stands, Akeredolu, where he stands is where Anambra State stands. Where he stands is where Edo State stands. Abia State stands. Are you listening to me? Then I have many questions for those governors, those usurping governors who love power more than their father and mother, who loves power more than their God. Hope, Ozodimba, Chimp. Is he ceding the land that belongs to Imo State to Fulani? Because Imo State belongs to Hope Uzodimba alone. Is Hope Uzodimba's father the owner of Imo State? Why is it only Hope that has accepted open grazing sites in Nigeria? Why is it that it's only him? Only he. He's the only one. It's an aberration, it's an abomination. Let me tell you, it sounds so Greek to hear that Uzodimba has already started mapping out sites where Fulani herdsmen will be settled in Imo State. But I have to tell you this, Obiozo, Ohaneze current president, has many questions. He threw at Hope last week. Those questions still remain unanswered. No solution to those questions according to Hope, because Hope has not answered back. Ohaneze has made it clear to him that even if you want to settle Fulani herdsmen in Imo State, settle them in your father's land. But we have questions for him. You are a man. What Hope is trying to do this time around is like a man who wakes up one early in the morning and confronts his father. Let us share your properties. The father started laughing. The father laughed and shook his head and aimed at the earth and looked at the earth for some minutes and raised up his head and said, "You want us to share property?" The son said, "Yes, I chose you. I chose you, my son, as my property." So what do you think the son Where? What property is the son going to share again? When your father has chosen you. Listen, Hope is born and brought up. Is an Imolite. Is from Imo State. Let me tell you, Hope will cook for the Imo people to eat. And they will eat it finish and ask him for more. But if the Imolite prepares food for him to eat, I don't think there is enough stomach. He has enough barrel inside his stomach to contain those food. Listen, Hope has no land in Imo State. Hope has no land in Imo State. If he likes, he will buy or buys the whole community in Imo State. That land ancestrally belongs to who? Federal Republic of Black Jewish States of Biafra. Hope is not going to cede any land to any bastard from Sahel country, from Chua Arab called Fulani. Hope has no right to cede our land, Igbo man land, to federal government of Fulani. Do you know Ekumek War? Ekumek War was the kind of war we fought in the 18th centuries, the Igbos and the Britain. When the British explorers invaded this part of the world, the Igbo man could not cede their land to the British. Do you know what happened? We fought Ekumek War. Igbo man is too resilient to protect what belongs to him. Because Igbo man, we don't steal, we don't collect bribe, we don't partake in dirty politics, we don't steal money from the government. Yes, we have never been known with dirty politics in Igbo land. What we know, we are farmers. We marry many wives. We farm big farmland. We made it at the harvesting season.
That was then.
Big yams at the yam bands. That will determine how many wives you should marry as an Igbo man. If you marry 8 wives, it means your yam band is from here to Agege. Because during the cultivation season, your wife, your children, your wife 8, imagine. 8 women with how many children? Cultivating a vast land, an empty land. Don't you know they will have the strength to cultivate from here to Lagos Island? Majority carries the vote. That is Igbo man for you. Ekumek War, Britain came, the British came, they fought to grab Igbo man, to suppress Igbo man, and what? Feed us with their religion and their what? Government. Their what? Their lifestyle and culture. It took British man 60 years to lay down the Igbo man. We did not give up. At midnight, what do we do? In the daylight, what do? We override them, we strangulate them. Britain that is suppressing us now, we suppress them. They try to suppress us. It took British 60 good years, calendar years, to press Igbo man down. So, who are these idiots called Fulani herdsmen?
To another story.
Who is that person in charge of open grazing law or grazing sites? 265 grazing sites in Nigeria. He's going to revoke it. He's going to reverse it. Fulanis, they will grazing it. If you ask him, Oga, is it in Nigerian constitution? Buhari does not know Nigerian constitution. No. Buhari has never had ample time to go through Nigerian constitution. No. The man is not that educated. He says British were the one put it into law, that signed it into law. It is the Britain that wrote the constitution. We saw okay. It was in 1963.
He has advisors.
It was in 19 so.
He had people advising
People advising him are all bloody what? Fulanis. The people that are advising Buhari are all what? Fulanis, and the whole advice are aiming towards Islamization of Nigeria. If you don't know the meaning of open grazing, let me just break your head and put it. Open grazing, you see, you think is only grazing cattle. Let them be grazing. They should be eating grasses. No! Fulani will settle in their large numbers in Anambra State in the name of Ruga or open grazing. Fulani will be allowed to settle in their large numbers in Abia, Ebonyi, Enugu, Ondo, Kwara, in their large numbers. When they will strike, I tell you, we will be reduced. We will be less than Afghanistan. I tell you, what is happening in Afghanistan now, my brother, I think you need to pray for Christians in Afghanistan, because Taliban have virtually taken everywhere. And there's been happening on it that Nigeria is their next port of call. Next destination is Nigeria, because they know in Nigeria here they have such more radicalized Muslims than they do have in their lands there. So they are going to use them as tools to press us down. And who are those people? They are the Fulani. They don't go to school in the name of religion. All they know is Allah, 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 Allah. If I kill you now, according to Fulani, not me, Fulani man will go to heaven, and Allah will give him 250 virgins, 560 rivers of what? Lager beer, flowing with lager beer. He will use his tumble cup, open it and drink it. For where have you seen it before, black man? Does Islam preach such ideology? That ideology, I don't think, is what is written in Quran. But Ottoman Dan Fodio from Futajolan Island, he fought and fought and fought across the whole Africa. He went to the north and suppressed the so-called Hausa tribe, who are very, very, let me say, over gullible. They deceived them, they mounted on them. Today, no Nigerian could differentiate between Fulani and the Hausa. Two of them became one. They enslaved the Hausas. Since the inception of this country, you and I know Yoruba, Igbo, and Hausa. Those people that we have been accusing of Hausa has ruled, that was the accusation. Hausa has become president in this country, have ruled Nigeria for 40-something years. Some say for 50 years. Organo Hausa has ever ruled Nigeria. The whole people ruling Nigerians are Fulani.
Okay.
Are you listening to me? The first executive president of Nigeria in the Second Republic was Cheikh Chagari. Fulani. Buhari took over from Cheikh Chagari through coup d'etat. Buhari is a Fulani bloody man. He's still punishing us. He's still chastising us with what? Scorpion and spikes. Are you listening to me? Abdul Salam Abubakar, Fulani. Are you listening to me? Atiku has been trying all he could to make sure he did what? He rules this country. Where is Atiku from? Fulani. Are you listening to me? The position that the whole office departments in Nigeria, 96 in number, Oga, are occupied by who? Fulani. You are not trying to tell me that we don't have intelligent German. We don't have intelligent African man. We don't have intelligent Yoruba man. We don't have intelligent Elaje man. We don't have intelligent Nupe man, Kanuri man, Igbo man. Fulani has taken virtually every department, governmental departments in Nigeria. What are you saying? Nigeria, I know, is a very intelligent country. Nigeria has turned to Mugu under Buhari regime. Mugu.
Let's go. Tomorrow, we are expecting a new increase in tariff, electricity tariff. How does it spell for Nigerians, Mr.
Electricity tariff. The bill has been increased. We've been paying with our blood for over 8 months now. Let me shock you. What you are saying now has come late. It was due to a NEPA tariff that Nigerian youth, it was one of the major points Nigerian youth struck last year, NSAS protest. We were doing it bit by bit after dealing with police, the next people, NEPA, before police and the Nigerian military struck and killed all the youths at Lekki toll gates. Do you know that the tariff has gone up before that protest? The next action was against NEPA, but they could not allow it to hold. They are talking about another increment. We are paying now with our blood. Imagine a situation whereby ordinary 13 rooms. I don't mean self-contained. I don't mean mini flats. I don't mean room and parlor. Room, 13 in number. NEPA is billing them 70-something thousand naira, 80,000 naira in a month with their epileptic power supply. That is not constant. It comes, it goes. It comes, it goes. I don't know. I could not even remember the time Nigeria has 24 hours power supply. That could be in the 1970s. Late 70s or let's say 78, 79. Well, for 40 years. Tick tock, as the clock hands goes. That is how power supply in Nigeria operates.
Okay.
It will come, it will go, it will come, it will go. NEPA will bill you and bill you and bill you, and you will pay because you are an uninformed Nigerian.
Final thought, Mr. Arafe.
My final thought, I'm telling you, what is happening in Afghanistan now is unbearable. It is inhuman. Sins of man against fellow man. Joe Biden is guilty. Or some, what is his name? Obama is Osama. Obama, in collaboration with Joe Biden, orchestrated what is going on in Afghanistan today. Why is it that American citizens sheepishly bolted this guy out? Donald Trump. Look at Joe Biden. His brain has been binded with what? Rubber band. His brain could not even do its work anymore. The whole department of Joe Biden's brain has gone. Joe Biden is the cause of what is happening in Afghanistan. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Kunle, good morning.
Yeah, morning, my brother. Morning. How you doing?
This is your face is like this.
Man, I don't know. I'm just not in the mood, man. I'm so not too happy. Every day you wake up in this country, one problem too many. It's just going and going down. Like the country is going down the way I'm saying.
I want to ask you about the electricity tariff.
If it's coming, I could see your labor you have. They are saying they are going to shut the country down. You see these people? You see this labor, what do they call themselves? I don't see the difference between them and the people in government. They are just fooling us. The Nigerian Labour Congress died during the year of Bafaya 2. That was the...
Oshomole.
No, Oshomole played a double standard too. He played a double standard under Labour. The government you are criticizing, you left the Labour and you went to join them. You did not even join them as an honorary member. You joined them as a governor. From the governor, did Mr. Oshomole want to tell me there was no atrocity in Edo State under him? There was no corruption in Edo State under him. Look at the case between him and Baseki now. They both run the affairs of Edo State together. So you see all this labor, the way I see, Bafaya too, that guy was the only labor, and that's happened during IBB era, which we have activists, civil activists, we have human rights activists that were backing labor. And who are the human activists that pay dear for their life? Then we have people like Olisa Agbakoba, we have people like Falana, we have people like Gani Fawahimi, and some student union leader like Najim Mayeko was the student union president of UNELAC. Then we used to follow them to observe what is going on as a youth then. And they will start the procession from Yaba, which housed the Nigerian Labour Congress headquarters. So the labor we are seeing now is chop labor. It's labor that will say something with their mouth in the afternoon and say another thing with their mouth at night. Even if I see them protesting anything that they want to lead the protest, we have to chase them away, because they will sabotage the protest. We chase the labor away because they will sabotage our protest. They are always saboteurs. When they come out, the government will call them at midnight for a meeting, a peace meeting, and they will change the story overnight. Maybe they will promise them, you guys, you are secured. You guys under, government payroll. We secure your what's it called? We secure your better, better remuneration. But how about the masses? Look at what they did during the petroleum hike. Then you know what they did. They betrayed us now. So those labor, they should not start what they cannot finish.
Okay, let's look at Sunday goes 8 of them has been released.
Yeah,
A
those are.
victory for
Yeah, it's a victory. I'm really happy as a Yoruba man. I'm really happy, but I'm happy for them. Let them remember the hype up guys that are in detention still right now. At least you are giving all the Fulani amnesty. Give Kanu amnesty. Give Igbo amnesty. Give all this hype up that you clamp down. And meanwhile, there are still 4 of them that EFCC, the Yoruba agitators. There are still 4 of them in the USS custody, DSS custody now. I think they should talk to that DG of this secret police we have in Nigeria here. Power drunk. They are always power drunk when they get to position. And the way it is now, you can be DG for some years now. You cannot be DG forever. You leave the post, and the bad you do will definitely haunt you. The bad, bad policy, bad hardship punishment you put on people will always haunt on you. Where are the people that have done more than that before? Where are the Bamayis? Where are the people that have used their veto power to oppress Nigeria? Where are they today? They are regretting. They are nowhere to be found. They are nowhere to be found. You could see what happened during Mr. Mustafa, the General Major Mustafa issues too. You could see how they treated him. So one day, thief go chase the hunter go. How do they say it? One day, they will go to market. They will not be able to, come back. That's just the issue. It's just an adage. I'm just saying, man.
Okay, let's look at let's look at where southern states stand. We have Rivers, Bayelsa, Ekiti, Oyo State ready for enforcement of the anti-open grazing law. Ondo signs bill into law today. Delta yet to enact law. Uncertainty Ebonyi Imo. The governor yet to send bill to assembly. Public hearing on bill. You see, tomorrow is September 1. We expected that they might have all finished their passage.
But how many states are updated now with the compilation?
We have Rivers, we have Osun, and Ondo.
Ondo?
Yeah, Ondo
that
will
signed
today.
the anti-grazing law.
Yeah, Ondo will sign today. Rivers have signed, Osun will sign.
Yes. The remaining ones, let's look. The remaining one, we see who our traitor is in the remaining government. Who our traitors are, right? Among those governors that have yet to sign. Because I expected them that they have enough time to have go through this, to have go through this order, to have gone through this anti-grazing policy, right? They have enormous time to go through it, and I believe they're supposed to have even signed along with their fellow guys that are the helibeds, But the way it is now, you see all these governors, all these certain leaders we have, they are the ones selling us. That's why I don't blame all these people. I don't blame all these people they are calling S-men, all this. They are the ones selling us. They are the ones selling us. Imagine, before all the governor, thank God for what happened in Oyo State, the Congo issue. Mr. Makinde wouldn't have waken up, to understand what he was elected for then. That you have to secure your people. When they started killing his people in Ibadan, I think his eyes got open. Because they were doing it political, issue. They politicize everything in Nigeria, both security, both economy, both everything. That after all, we are not in power. Let us wait and see how their government will, be better, right? We, the opposition, will try, but then when they come now, let us see how they. But they forget that in a country where there is insecurity, when the sitting government cannot do the needful, the opposition can come in and give them a better, directions, and that will even help them to win the election.
Which opposition do you have?
They don't even have opposition, but the PDP are claiming they are opposition. But I don't, they are just one same party that split into two. That at convenient time they crisscross into each other. So they are same thing. I'll tell you, is this only this country we see with PDP member that will eat lunch with his PDP member in the morning, in the afternoon, and eat dinner with APC at night? They are just chameleon. So in a country where you have chameleon leaders, so what do you expect? And this is what is playing out among the governors. Some are looking, some are high the presidency. Some are high the bigger post that is more than the presidency. Some are looking for the that is maybe governorship or minister under the current coming administration. They not even know where their destiny lies. They not even know where their fate lies. So they have to, watch the scenario and abandon their people first to protect their own selfish political interest, and that cannot stand this time around.
Lastly,
if those governors fail to sign those anti-grazing laws, tomorrow is September 1st, we all know them and we wait for them. Say, man, you guys are our enemies. You are the ones selling us out.
Mindset mentor is saying that you and me, we are the opposition, not PDP.
We are the opposition, but are we really organized to form a credible opposition? Because the youth now, they have a different, diverse mind that you cannot even predict average youth now. Average youth can tell you, I'm for so person in the morning, in the afternoon, money must have exchanger. Because a country where there's hunger, there is bound to be some funny, scenario that will happen. That's why our youth are not reliable. It's the blunt truth. We are like them too. We are following the footstep.
Don't you think it's because of hunger?
Yeah, you've said it up. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much. It's 4 years punishment. Once the 4 years lapse, they will call you, embrace you again, give you the handouts that will survive you for a week or a month. You forget about all the suffering you've been having. Then you now be re-enslaved again. It's just like a cow and the herdsman. Who are the herdsmen? They are the politicians. Anytime they want their cow to feed, they bring them out. Anytime they want to put them in the ranch, they kept them there. So that anytime they want to feed them, they can, choose the date. Or you're talking of fowls. If you are rearing fowls, if you just pour corn on the street, a lot of them will start chasing the corn. That's how the politician has degenerated our life. So it's so annoying and it's so sad that we are in this situation. Right?
Thank you very much, Mr.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Yeah. Okay, we've come to the end of Bystanders at the Newsstands this morning. Thank you for being with us. Our review as Mindset Mentor, Time Wodulade, Sinovia Ridley, Celestine Piles, Kechuku from the start, Ezenwa, thank you, Wonkike Emmanuel, Pari Bodo, Festus, thank you very much, Akabogu Clement, thank you very much, Arinola Dedeji, thank you very much, Mimi Peace, thank you, wonderful lady. Also, we have many people that have also been part of the program. Okay, tomorrow we might want to allow people call in from wherever you are. So we might want to get a speaker so that when you call in, the speaker will reflect your voice. So just get ready tomorrow. You can give opportunity for people to call in for the program tomorrow. A big thank you to the camera, Mr. Femi Davis. Bye for now till tomorrow as we meet by the grace of God.